Dear Diary, what a week it's been. I feel like I've been on go every single day, and frankly, it feels good because idle hands make me bummed out. When I don't do stuff throughout the week, I feel like I'm wasting life's potential. I feel like there's so much more that I can do, and I just feel really bummed. So, this week was pretty good. I got to prioritize family. I tried some new things. I made some extra side cash doing a side hustle job for one of my family members. So I'm 24 years late to this, but oh my gosh, I just want to talk a little bit about this movie I watched called 8 Mile with Eminem in it. I watched it yesterday, and my life has changed forever. Eminem is so goated. He is so cool. I just think he's awesome. But I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then also, I even had enough time to find runs with post office friends. Can you believe it? It was just bam, 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 one thing after another. So let's break it down. How did I prioritize family? Well, I went over to my grandparents on Sunday, I believe. So that was because I record Friday and then these come out Monday. So there's like a three day lag, right? But last Sunday, I went over to my grandparents. My grandma was turning 79, and that's old. There's no way of putting that super nicely. 79 is not young anymore, and I am so blessed to have grandparents in my life still. I understand that closing in on 30 and still having two generations above me is a blessing. Sometimes they get on my nerves. They were. It was a little hard to have a relationship with them in my early 20s and late teens, but we've definitely amended it a little bit. They've gotten nicer. We've gotten more cordial with each other, and there's lots of love there. So I was very excited to hang out with my grandparents. They had some of their friends come over, and we all celebrated her 79th birthday, and I am super grateful to have a maternal figure like that in my life because I know a lot of people my age, close to 30, their grandparents are probably gone for a few years now, and they have aging parents, and it's a reminder that like life is finite, but life is also a blessing. And to make a long story short, I was just very happy to be there, and I got her the same card that I got her last year, so we had a good laugh about that, and it was just a beautiful day. So we sat out in like the sunroom and just chit chat about life. It's always good to catch up. The following day was pretty cool because after work, I got out and I got to hang out with my little bro. My little bro is dope. He's probably like one of my favorite people, if not my favorite person in this world. Me and him have been tight since he's come out of the womb. I remember leaving one of my small stuffed animal Pikachus right by his crib-side bedside, like as soon as he was born. So it like laid on top of his incubator, if that's what you call it. And there's pictures of me holding him when he's like hours born. And he's just a homie. Me and him have been tight like our whole life, through the ups and downs of life, through the hardships of a childhood with divorced parents and what that brings. I don't want to sit here and be like my life was tough through and through. There are so many things I'm immensely grateful for, and there are so many blessings that I have. But, inherently sometimes childhood can be tough with some trauma, and when a divorce happens, it is kind of jarring for everyone. And my little brother was definitely my rock through it all. And we played together literally every day, playing like Survivor together with stuffed animals. We played Monopoly together with a ton of stuffed animals. I even put his ass through school with stuffed animals, and I feel bad in hindsight, but I had three stuffed animals that were like my favorite, right? They were all sharks. They were reddy, greeny, bluey. Guess why? Their dominant color was red, green, blue. And Greeny was my favorite stuffed animal ever. Shout out to the homie Greeny. I still have him. He's in a bookcase right now on display. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that dude. But I would have Reddy, Greeny, Bluey go to school, and I say school in air quotes. None of you will see it, but I say school in air quotes because it would just be me teaching like math and like tiny algebra, like 4x plus 3 equals 15, solve for x. And my little brother was 6 years younger than me, so when I was 13 learning algebra, he was 7. So he was getting ahead of the game, so it was good for him. But I always made sure Greeny was the smartest. Always made sure. He could be smarter than Reddy and Bluey sometimes. In fact, I made sure he was because I wanted him to have a good self-esteem. But Greeny was top dog, and Greeny knew it. And that came in the games that we played in Monopoly. Greeny would get... It's so stupid in hindsight, but Greeny would form alliances and then get people to, like, you know, make it so he wouldn't have to pay on stuff. And also, people would give him certain properties. You get the gist. Greeny was untouchable. And that probably traumatized my little brother a little bit. But anyways, so we grew up tight. We played games together. And on Monday, we actually went and played basketball together for a few hours. And it felt really good to catch up because, well, the last couple months, our relationship has changed a little bit. It's my first time that I don't feel ultra close with him. Now, I understand life goes in phases. And certain phases you're closer, certain phases you're more distant. But it seemed for like 22 years, 21 years, we were inseparable. We were each other's best friend. But things change a little bit, other complications arise, and priorities shift. And I know I'm still a huge, huge priority in his life. This is not me dogging on my little brother. I would never do that. He is incredible. But he just went through a stressful time, and we had to create some distance. We moved out from living with each other, so now we live separately, and there was no bad blood there, no hatred. It was just time for us to, like, you know, go separate ways for a little bit because life was taking us in different directions, and it just felt really good to spend a couple hours with them and just talk about life. So I'm super grateful for that, and I know, like, our relationship probably hit rock bottom, and when I say rock bottom, it wasn't even, like, that bad. It was just, like, the rock bottom of what we have had because we rode Cloud 9, like, for 21 years. But it probably hit the lowest point, I want to say, the beginning of this year. It was just tough for us both. And now, being in June, it's been on a steady rise, and I'm grateful for it. I don't remember what I did Tuesday. I think Tuesday was a day where I did nothing. But anyways, Wednesday hits hard. Guys, I did something so cool, okay? I brought my roomie with me, and we went to chess club. Let me tell you how long I've been wanting to go to chess club. I remember writing this joint down in my journal, like, almost a year ago at this point. Sometime back in 2025, I was like, I really want to get the confidence to go to chess club and try it out. And on Wednesday, I did with my best friend, my roomie, and it was a mixed bag. I'm not going to lie, it was kind of awkward. It was very intimidating, and part of me doesn't want to go again, but another part of me is infatuated with the idea of going again and having it become like a consistent, regular thing that I go to, because I think chess club would teach me a lot. It would teach me how to be a gracious loser, because I know it's wild to say that first, but in chess, you are like, and when I say you, I mean everyone, and me especially. I know I'm going to lose in chess. I have played for years online, and my elo is close to 1,000. So it's decent, but when you go to a club player rankings typically range from like 14 to 1,800 for like good, strong players. I know I'm going to get my ass kicked, and I want to be able to look forward to it and know that I'm going to get better because of it. But there's a part of me that just has this crippling anxiety inside of me that, like, I'm going to go up to the chessboard, I'm going to make a dumbass move, people are going to laugh at me, and I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm going to do it, it's going to be good, I'm going to get through it, I know I'm going to gain so much confidence from it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to. The deepest, most vulnerable part inside of me wants to go and experience those losses and experience the wins too, because I know I'll win sometimes, but it's scary. But I did get a win because I did go with my roomie this week on Wednesday, so cheers to that. And I really wanted to speak on that because that's been something I've wanted to do for, I want to say a year at this point, so that was pretty dope. The following day was my day off, and I actually went and helped my grand aunt. She gives me like a little bit of like a side business every once in a while. Fun fact, if I didn't go into the postal service and deliver mail for a living, I knew I always wanted to work outside, and I wanted to be a landscaper and do some yard work, lawn work. And this is what I do for my grand aunt. So my grand aunt is my grandpa's sister. So it's not my regular aunt. It's like a generation above. And I help her out with a lot of gardening. So I was out there in the fields digging up some holes, planting a lot of flowers, and it was fun. It is a lot of fun. I kind of like getting dirty. I like planting beautiful things, seeing the flowers bloom. It's like a grounding feeling. It kind of just makes me feel really wholesome and good about myself. Plus, I get paid for it. Plus, I see family. And it's a win-win. Another thing, gotta talk about it. So, my dating life. My dating life sucks. I have nothing going for me right now. I know I just talked 10 minutes about beautiful things that I am so grateful for in life, but my dating life is tough. I want to get better. I want to put myself in more social situations. I feel like this week was honestly really great for doing that. Like, I don't think I'm going to meet the love of my life over at my grandparents' house unless I go to Alabama. And that I'm kidding. But it's unlikely for me to meet a significant other at a family gathering. But it still feels good and it still feels productive to go do family gatherings. But it doesn't help my dating life. But anyways, I'm just saying this because doing new things and being social and practicing my social skills is what will help my dating life. So even though I was only going over to see family, it still felt constructive. And especially going to chess club. In fact, me and my roomie were like, yo, we should try and do something new like each week. And I hit him with the idea of like, yo, let's join a bowling league. And he was like, yo, do you want to go? Like, he mentioned something about golf. And I was like, dude, I always want to try golf. I've never done anything besides mini golf before. Well, that's a lie. I actually did top golf one time in Ohio on like a vacation. That was pretty lit. But yeah, he's like, if you want to try golf, we should go to the driving range. Like, me and him, I like the idea of us doing something new every week. I don't know how long it's going to go for. I don't know if it's feasible to do something new every single week. But the idea of me and him going outside our comfort zone and doing new stuff is enticing to me. And I hope we continue doing it because, honestly, going to chess club was something that gave me the biggest anxiety in the world. But going together with someone eliminates that anxiety by at least a half. Like, I was still shaking and I like almost missed a turn driving because my ass was so scared, but it was cut in half, so I was very grateful for that. Yeah, so dating stuff, I want to put myself out there more. I want to do new things. I not really getting any luck on the apps. It is what it is. I don't know. That's got me down in the dumps because one of my biggest goals in life is to go through life with like a partner, with someone, because life is better when you have someone on your team with you, cheering you on, being your biggest supporter, and you being a biggest supporter for them. And it's tough being 28 and not having that, but I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people deal with dating grievances. I just feel like I should speak on it a little bit just so that I know my thoughts and feelings about it, like whenever I come back to this episode, like weeks or years later. So I know this is a huge switch, but I just got to talk about this. Dude, 8 Mile. Oh my gosh. I am not a movie watcher, but I sat down and watched 8 Mile. It's on YouTube for free right now, so go watch that if you haven't. It is such a bomb-ass show. It is just Eminem's come-up, loosely based on his come-up. It's not like an autobiography or anything, but it's like loosely based on how the rap scene works and how he like broke through a little bit. And it was so just gangster. Like the way he flipped the script in the last rap battle, the way he just tossed the mic to his opponent, was like, tell him something that they don't know. He was just so cool. It's just, I have been an Eminem fan ever since high school, which at this point has now been like 10 to 14 years ago, depending on if we start at freshman or senior. And I remember bumping Eminem in the weight room like senior year, listening to like Till I Collapse, Soldier, like The Curtain Call, all that, and the Eminem Show. Just those albums were like my favorite. And I can't believe I haven't gotten around to watch that movie until like just yesterday or 2 days ago. It is such a bomb movie. And maybe my movie expectations are low because I don't watch many movies. But, dude, if you guys have not seen that movie, do yourself a favor, grab some popcorn, and just go watch 8 Mile because, oh my gosh, you will just, it's moving. Plus, it's a little emotional too. There's some times when there was like family conflict, and there was like he had a little sister and he had to take care of her, and it was emotional and it made me cry. But I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to that, so maybe you guys will fare better. But it was a good time. Good time. I'm so glad I watched it. And then last but not least, I just want to speak on it because today was a really good day as well. Today after work, a friend of mine from the post office, he was like, yo, do you want to go for a run later? And one thing about me is if you ask about going for a run, I won't say no unless I'm like dying, all right? Unless I am super duper sick, I'm not going to say no about a run. I love running. So he asked about that, and I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. And it just, stuff like that just makes this time of year feel like summer. It feels good, you know. People are outside, we're doing stuff. I went over and spent time with my grandparents outside, spent time with my brother outside. I spent time with my grand aunt outside. I spent time with friends outside. It's just summer is a good time to be doing stuff. And I know 6 months from now when winter rolls around, it's going to be a little harder to be doing that kind of stuff. The days will be short. It'll be cold. I probably won't have as many stories, so I just thought I should elaborate while I can. That's what was up. We ran 3 miles together. It was his first run from a while, and it was just so good to, you know, share some miles with him because he's a good guy, and we caught up, talked about life a little bit, and I hope we have a lot more runs in the future together. So that's it.